Hey, welcome. We hear the word elder all the time, but what does it really, truly mean? Today, we're going to go way beyond a simple dictionary definition. We're going to explore a role that's deeply respected, a role that's earned through a lifetime of service, and one that's absolutely central to Indigenous communities. All right, let's get into it.
When you look at these hands, you're not just seeing age. You're seeing a lifetime of stories, of experience, a deep well of knowledge, and a history of service. The whole concept of an elder is about the wisdom held within, a wisdom that guides, that teaches, and that heals.
So to make this real, there's no better way than to start with a personal story. Let's meet Colleen Runner. She's from the Tsuut'ina Nation, and she just recently went through the experience of being recognized as an elder by her community.
And here it is, right in her own words. Notice how she points out that specific age, 60, which was set by her nation. But more than that, listen to the feeling behind her words. It's an honor to be an elder. See, this isn't just about hitting a certain birthday. It's a profound recognition that comes with a real sense of responsibility and pride.
And if we look at the official definition from the Tsuut'ina Nation, it backs this up completely. The key isn't just the number, it's what that number represents. Look at these words: respect, honor, and earn special status. This shows you right there that this is a recognition for a lifetime of contributing to the well-being of the community.
And that idea of earning it, well, that brings us to a really important point. The English word we use, elder, can actually be a little misleading. It's so important to understand the difference between a simple title and a living, breathing role within a community.
Honestly, elder is kind of an imperfect translation. In the Cree language, for example, the term is Kethayak, which means the old ones. And get this, in so many Indigenous languages, the concept isn't even a noun, a static label. It's a verb. It's something that describes what a person does. That sense of action, it kind of gets lost in translation.
This slide just lays it out so clearly, right? On one side, you've got the English idea, a noun, a title, something that feels static, like a status you achieve. But on the other side, you have the Indigenous concept, a verb, a role that's defined by action, by function, and by service to the people. An elder isn't just something you are, it's something you actively do.
And what an elder does is incredibly diverse. It's not a one-size-fits-all job description. Different elders have completely different gifts and specialties, and they contribute to their communities in a whole spectrum of ways.
I mean, just look at some of these roles. So many are rooted in this deep spiritual and healing knowledge. You've got herbalists who have this incredible knowledge of medicinal plants, and ceremonialists who are the keepers of sacred and ancient events.
And then you have other roles that are just vital to the everyday life and the future of the community. People who serve as teachers, advisors on huge issues like governance or the environment, and even guides for bringing the next generation into the world. So with all these incredible and important roles, you might be wondering, how does someone actually become an elder? And this is key. It's not a title you can just claim for yourself. It is a recognition that has to be earned, and it has to be given by the community. The community is looking for these essential qualities that a person has shown over their entire lifetime. An elder needs to be healthy in mind, body, and spirit. They have to truly walk their talk, living the values they teach with kindness and respect for everyone. And this right here, this might be the single most important thing to understand. A genuine elder will never, ever walk up to you and say, "Hi, I'm an elder." They just don't promote themselves. It is always the community that recognizes their wisdom, their service, and their gifts, and it's the community that gives them that title as a sign of the absolute highest respect. Okay, so knowing how much respect is involved here, that naturally leads to a big question. How should you engage with an elder? If you want to ask for their guidance or knowledge, there are very specific, culturally meaningful ways to approach them.
The most fundamental protocol is offering tobacco. First, you arrange to meet with them in person. Then, when you're ready to make your request, you hold the tobacco, which is a sacred medicine, in your left hand, and you state very clearly and specifically what you're asking for. If the elder accepts that tobacco from you, that's their way of saying yes, they agree to help you. And this is a great example of what that tobacco offering might look like, a small handmade tie. It's a physical symbol of your respect and how seriously you're taking your request. In fact, the very act of preparing this little tie, doing it with good thoughts and intentions, is part of the protocol itself.
Now this brings up a question I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about, especially in today's world. An elder is giving their time and sharing sacred knowledge. What about compensation?
Is it, like, disrespectful to offer money?
The answer is that an honorarium, which is a monetary gift of appreciation, is now a totally customary and acceptable practice. The key thing is that it's not seen as payment for a service. That would be disrespectful. Instead, it's a modern way of showing gratitude and keeping that traditional value of reciprocity alive, making sure the elder is cared for in return for their help.
And there's this incredible story from Elder Harvey Tutosis that just perfectly explains the spirit of the gift. He talked about a time someone gave him just $1 single, but he said that's all he had, so therefore he gave 100%. You see, the idea of reciprocity isn't about a price tag. It's about the intention. It's about giving what you can with a good heart.
So why? Why are these protocols and the whole concept of eldership so distinct? To really wrap our heads around all of this, we have to zoom out a little and look at the foundational worldviews that shape these practices. This is the why behind everything we've talked about.
Just look at the contrast here. For example, think about a linear view of time, past, present, future, in a straight line, versus a cyclical one. Or the idea of land as a resource to be used versus the view that land is sacred and alive. These aren't just small differences. They are fundamentally different ways of seeing our place in the universe.
So at the end of the day, what we're talking about here aren't just some old-fashioned rules. The role of the elder, the protocols of respect, they are the living, breathing expressions of a worldview that's built on relationships, on that principle of reciprocity, and on a sacred spiritual connection to everything and everyone. And as we start to wrap up, I want to leave you with this really powerful thought from the Indigenous anthropologist Bia Medicine. She said, "Elders are not ornaments to be taken out and used occasionally. This is a challenge, right? It's a challenge to all of us to move past tokenism and towards genuine respect and integration." Which leaves us with a final question, really, for all of us. Now that we know this, how can we truly honor this wisdom? How do we move from just simple inclusion to a deep, meaningful integration of elders' knowledge in our own lives, our workplaces, and our institutions, to make sure their vital role keeps strengthening generations to come?